What's up, my YouTube family? I hope everyone's doing well. Right now I'm kind of in my work attire, so it is what it is. Still make content on the side of my work, but yeah, right now I kind of want to talk to you guys and give you guys a couple quick updates on where we're going in this channel. If you're looking for the workout I'll have start right around here. But for the updates for the channel, I finished the Power Builder series and I think I did relatively well at the end of it. Even though I kind of messed up the ending with the deloading and everything, like overall it was a good program. And in a weird way, I kind of don't want to close this chapter on strength. I kind of want to like take a couple steps backwards to take a couple steps forwards. So I want to give myself, maybe like 8 to maybe 12 weeks, probably around 10ish weeks to really kind of work on form and work on areas of improvements in my lift. So obviously, I've really been focusing in on squatting and deadlifting. I am going to kind of get back into benching and document some of that. I'm not going to probably get into like my prime when I was like 21 years old and benching the most I could bench, but try to like show you guys techniques for that. And then on top of that, and then in terms of my physique, I also want to, give myself the opportunity to grow. I think a lot of times as a fitness content creator, like, people get so obsessed with being lean, and that captures so many people, that captures so much attention that like when you're always that lean, you're not really in a state of the ability to grow. You're kind of just, if anything, maintaining muscle, and you need to give yourself those periods to kind of grow and build your physique. So kind of really building there. And then what else? I also kind of like want to work on areas of improvement in my physique, but I'm going to kind of just document these next 10 weeks of just form improvements. And at the end of it, kind of if I want to like really go after and get on another strength program and really focus in and have percentages, I'll do that. Or maybe I'll just go straight into powerlifting. Regardless, like these are form things where it's like, even if I were to go into straight bodybuilding, I would need to fix them anyway. So it's like, why not fix them and emphasize those things? So I think this series is going to switch from, the original was supposed to be like a bodybuilding series, so now it's more of a like working on myself. And I think I might just title the series Working on Myself. So yeah, I mean, I'll document it. I'll walk you guys through some workouts, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, the workout for today should be right around here. And once again, we're kind of like closing in on like 1 year of me starting to make content. I really am thankful for everybody that's helped me along the way. I really appreciate all the comments when they are there. Like, I'm glad that to be a part of anybody's fitness journey, as I always say. So let's get in. Here we go. This is the first set. When I'm doing the pull-up, one of the things I'm thinking about is having my lats pull me up, really making sure that my chest is meeting the bar. That's our first working set. So really, when I'm doing my first working set, all we're thinking about the whole entire time is, like, are the right teaching cues being executed when I'm training hypertrophy? Squeezing at the top. Like, all the warm-up sets are good moments to really dial in our form. Let's not really care about the pump right now. We care more about the form, making sure that we're executing everything correctly. Before I do every single set, one of the things that I do is I do a reverse shrug. And the reason why I do the reverse shrug is so that my lat is the primary driver when I pull. That is like the primary focus. Like, I want this to be more lat focused and not to be biased more towards my biceps. So like that reverse shrug, that initial, before you go, that boom, and then pulling to start is going to help you out so much. Is that teaching you to pretend that you're hanging from a tree with your arms and you're bending on that branch. You're just bending that branch, and now you're gonna be able to go. You can even practice it at home. You can sit back at home and you can pretend you're right there, and then you're just pulling down. And you'll immediately feel your lats drop. And that is how you can really engage with your lat more and have your lat be the primary driver whenever you're rowing, or really whenever you're doing, a lat pull down. So next set. That was another good set, did what we could there. On to the next movement. We're just gonna start out pre-exhausted bicep, straight up 50 reps right away. Just pre-exhausted. So we just finished with our pre-exhaustion set. I did around like 30 to 40 reps. 50 was a little too high. But the pre-exhaustion was good. Now I'm gonna go use the 35s, and those 3 sets of 8 are really, really gonna hurt. They're gonna tax my body a lot more than normal. After this set, I'm gonna throw on my wrist straps because it does help me curl a little bit better. I almost missed my seat there. And then when I'm going up, I'm thinking pinkies, hard with the pinkies. Okay guys, the next movement we're doing is the bent over row. So I've had like a very weird love-hate relationship with the bent over row because there are different ways that you should perform this exercise versus if you're training for strength and doing something like powerlifting versus if you're doing the bent over row for more bodybuilding and aesthetics and hypertrophy. And when you're training to do it with the intent of building muscle and contractile tissue, the form is going to look differently than if you're using it for powerlifting and using a heavier weight to really just kind of ram it up there through the eccentric, and then when you're going I always mix up the eccentric and concentric portion of the movement. But you're ramming it up there, and then you're really just kind of really going as slow as possible to really kind of like drive up your CNS and get used to being under heavier loads. And really to build up the strength curve because honestly, you're gonna have different levels of strength at different portions of the pull. So how you pull for powerlifting and doing the row is going to look different than when you're doing it for bodybuilding. When I'm doing it for bodybuilding, it's really trying to engage with that lat. So I don't really necessarily care as much about the weight. I care more so about my ability to squeeze and to contract and to use the right muscles. So if you go underhand like this, you're going to obviously emphasize more of your bicep, or I don't know if you know that or not, but you're going to emphasize more of your bicep when you row like that and row, versus when you go like this, you'll still obviously use your bicep in both movements, but you're going to be able to engage a little bit more with your lat. I'm going to grab my straps so that I'm not really worrying about my grip, and I'm focusing more on squeezing. That was a good set there. All I'm thinking about when I go, pretending that there's a pencil right between my back, I'm trying to squeeze that pencil with my lat muscles. I'm trying to use my back muscles to come around and squeeze that pencil. A lot of people are going to ask, like, why do you use the pull-down movements versus the rowing movements? A lot of the rowing movements are really designed to help with back thickness, whereas a lot of the pulling down movements are going to really help with the width of the lats. It's a little bit pro-sciencey, but like that is what most people have found, is that when you do train with that rowing motion, it's going to help a lot more with developing the thickness. And obviously, we just talked about the pull downs. Next, we're going to go into the pull down, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm using the pull down to really emphasize and hit my lower lats and help get that sweep, and we'll get into it. Alright, that is all we're gonna need there. I don't wanna waste too much energy on a lighter weight. Like the set right now that we're doing, all we're doing that for is just form. Form and technique. Get the muscles activated, like don't waste your strength on a weight that you know isn't gonna be a good working set. So just like bump up, get the form, get the technique, get the movement pattern down, and get going again. I don't even know if we're gonna need straps for this set, so we'll do it. And driving those elbows. So this underhand grip is a huge piece on how we get the lower lat. I'm driving my elbows deep into my waist. And I'm trying, as I come up, I'm also trying to imagine that like I'm creating an X. Like that X illusion, that X hourglass is being created. So squeezing down hard, maybe for 1 or 2 seconds, and then coming out. But I'm squeezing down as hard as I can into those lats. Alright, this is going to be a real working set here. Should be a good weight. Let's rock. Alright, we're going to do one more set. Just the traditional lat pull down. Sometimes I like to just polish off with the kind of just the traditional movement pattern with just the overhand grip, just making that Y. Also, if you have a hard time setting up in the lat pull down, someone that told me a great teaching cue that I was given is to just make a Y, like you're doing the YMCA, and that's about a good proxy for where your hand should start. So guys, next we're doing the hammer curl, or not the hammer curl, we're doing a supination curl, but we start in the hammer kind of curl position. And when we go up, we're rotating our wrist up and we're curling into our bicep with our pinky. So again, that pinky analogy that we talked about earlier, really driving in through your pinkies is gonna help us really engage with that bicep. If it helps, sometimes not even thinking about the muscle that you're hitting, but more so about the biomechanic that you're performing, so that twisting of the wrist. But let's get our first working set in here. That movement really helps with the peak of the bicep. So really that peaking portion of the bicep. What we're trying to do is we're thinking about the whole entire workout in entirety. So we did a rowing movement, we did pull-ups, we did lat pull-downs, We did a bicep curl, we did another bicep curl with supination. Now, when we're thinking about like everything that we've hit, we also need to think about like, what haven't we hit? One of the things that we haven't hit is the upper back, and we haven't done any unilateral movement. So this is something that like you should always be thinking about when you're training and thinking about things on the fly. Like, okay, what have I not hit in this workout that needs to be hit? Oh, I need to hit a unilateral movement to really emphasize any muscle imbalances. And honestly, with unilateral movements, the great thing about unilaterals is that you can really emphasize squeezing, you can really build that mind-muscle connection, especially like if you have a harder time contracting with one side than the other. Like this is a great moment, great opportunity. So we're doing rows, but when we're rowing more upright. I'm kind of playing around with the angle to see what's the best position right now to kind of hit that upper back portion that we're really trying to work on, that upper back thickness. When we did those rows with the barbell, the way that we were angled the position and rowing into, we were hitting a lot more of the middle and lower back, but right now we're trying to hit that upper back region. So these dumbbells are great. You're gonna see me play around with the form a little bit. I might do a couple where I'm low and kind of hitting the upper back there, but I'm also gonna do a couple here where I'm almost like in that row position, that T-bar row position. Not T-bar row. I can't remember the name. Maybe I'll put a picture of the machine up. But again, like this is like, even though we don't have all the equipment here, like it's about thinking of things and thinking on the fly. So, all right. Okay guys, that is it pretty much for the video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If there's anything else in the video that I can put or explain, be sure to comment or ask, and I can maybe explain it in further depth in another video or maybe a Q&A, or if it's really short, I can just answer it right then and there. But I will see you guys in the next one, and peace out guys. I wish you guys all the best.